tutorial on the Paintology app using your phone. So making nice drawings on your phone. You can see here I did a one brush painting yesterday and I just uploaded that. This was like a fantasy forest, I call it. And this is something you could do easily with block coloring. And block coloring is like paint by numbers, but far more versatile and powerful, and it's very easy to do. In fact, it's quite fun to do. It's many of the ways I start off a drawing by laying down the foundational colors, and then I use techniques to develop the actual image there, sorry, the drawing from the reference image and turn it into a realistic drawing. So this is just one of the drawings I did, and before I go into it, dive into the actual drawing tutorial, I want to show you a couple of things. First of all, this is a two-part drawing process which I do. I spend right about approximately 50 minutes on step one in this channel, Produce channel, and then I hop on to 10 minutes later on the Paintology channel to finish the drawing. You'll find the links for those on the description, in the description, so you'll be able to continue and join along with me to make this drawing that we're going to do today. But before I do that, let me go to a few resources. First of all, let's go, this was yesterday's or the day before yesterday, I can't remember. I think it was yesterday's. Anyway, here it is. So we go to paintology.com. So paintology.com, and then you click on daily step-by-step video tutorials, right? And then that button, and then you'll come to this page, which shows you all the upcoming for live tutorials, such as this one, 23rd October, including the reference image. So the whole idea of this being that you download the Paintology app from Google Play Store and you have it ready to draw along with me. This is a rare opportunity for many of you who like to draw and improve your skills in drawing in the digital medium. Firstly, digital medium using too many tools, but learning the art fundamentals, art techniques, which majority of you beginners will probably do not know. And these are techniques developed by artists who are very comfortable in their field, in the medium that they work with. So I'm very comfortable in my digital medium, and I've developed techniques which doesn't involve a huge array of art tools, despite what traditional people who draw with pencil and paper like to think. It's not technical at all, and I will prove that by doing this demonstration of this drawing and many other drawings that you'll find on this page, including the completed drawings here. This was one I did, I think it was yesterday, yeah, 22nd, that's right. So, and then here's another one, it's the eagle. So photorealistic drawing with two brushes and no other tools like filling, blending, or anything like that. And here, let's see, this was a bear. I want to show how you can use the shade brush along with the line to make the diffuse background, like you can see here. So plenty of drawings here, all different subjects here, all the way down. Yeah. So this one today is listed at the top. So this is the reference image. So this is a wonderful horse. Download image. I'm going to download this image. I'm going to get rid of this. This is actually Paintology's screen recorder. If you have an interest in recording your screen, this is one good app that's won a lot of accolades, and you might want to check it out. It's very well organized. I use it for the one brush painting, drawings that I do, which I upload. In fact, I've just uploaded two, and it was done with this. This is the way the movies are kept here, as you can see. So these are two. These are all the videos I've got recorded. So it's very easy to use, and a lot of people like it. So I've downloaded the image of the reference image. So you should have the drawing app installed, and this is the home screen. Okay. So on the home screen, we're going to, you can do this for any type of drawing. What I'm showing you is not to show off my art skills, but to convey the art techniques that I have picked up and make impressive drawings on the phone, just right on the phone. And you too can do the same. It's actually a lot easier than you think. All you need is a little bit more awareness and understanding of what some of the tools can do for you. Not necessarily tech understanding, but understanding how the tool works, just like any other tools in traditional pencil. Applying a different pressure to the pencil kind of have an effect like that. Applying angling the pencil to get more of the surface area of the nib, that can also have a bearing on your drawing. And you can take that to your advantage. A lot of people, good artists, are good with the tools. The many beginners make the mistake just because they can't draw, but they don't have the skills of the other person. But what they fail to realize is the other person is very observant of what they use, the tools they use, and how they manage to use it to their advantage. And pretty much all the beginners are stuck in a one-dimensional type of drawing, thinking that they can't do any more than that unless you're born with this talent. Something, quite silly actually to think like that, because you should not think like that. Otherwise, you're pretty much going to use that excuse for a lot of other skills. But it's entirely up to you. It's the way people are, go through their lives developing the skill and taking it to, very high levels. I've done it for not just for this, but for many other skill sets. So I'm actually want to tell you that skills can be learned. So what do we have here? So we've got this home page. Tutorials is where majority of the tutorials are. You can practice paint by numbers, which is really easy. There's no requirements for that. Just open up a drawing like this, and then just simply, I've got the line brush here, is it? I'm going to use the line brush, and that's it. Look, this is just like a real paint by numbers. Go 5, right, 5, sorry, there, and then 7. See, that's all done for you. And then if you want to get into the details, simple, you turn down the brush. I've done many drawings like that. It's really super fun. But doing this helps you tremendously some of the important skill set. In fact, it was a real paint by numbers kit that rekindled my interest in drawing, painting and drawing. This was about 10 years ago. It remained dormant for many, many years, and it's only when I used paint by numbers that I really drove my skills, got into general drawing and painting, tried out lots of different medium, pastels, oil pastels, charcoal, you name it. I've tried it, oils, and I've got some very impressive, obviously large canvases, traditional painting, acrylic painting hanging on the wall of my sister's house. Yeah. So let's see what we have here. So that's that. You can save this. You can always save this drawing and then resume again. So you don't have to finish in one go. Plenty of tutorials like that, all designed to one thing in mind, to improve your drawing skills, your fundamental core skills in art, which a lot of teachers online gloss over very quickly and then start emphasizing other kinds of teaching methods, especially in digital drawing. They emphasize the app and the tools, which is a little unfortunate because then you become over time dependent on the tools. And it's the reason why digital art will not look natural and will always look like digital art, right? So let me show you the drawing that you see. I've done so many drawings. I can show you this drawing I did. This was, you see, it doesn't look like digital art. I mean, it looks like something manually done, but you'll be hard pressed to find what material it was done. In fact, I posed this question on Quora, which is I'm very an active user of Quora. I'm going back to my showing you my. This is my profile. I've answered 1,000 over answers questions related to drawing, and also I put up a short blurb every day of the things I've completed and what's coming up. So it's really excellent to follow this. You know, you can follow me on paintology.quora.com, and so you can see here it's got all the drawings I've done, plenty of drawings undone. You can see that none of these look like it was done digitally, and the reason is I don't use autocorrection, blending, and all that. It's done by hand, and it's the pure joy of doing by hand. Traditional artists find much rewarding, and I don't use the sophisticated tools to, if I want to draw, if I wanted to use the sophisticated tools of Photoshop, I would make an illustration, vector graphics, logos, web design. You know, I'm a very advanced user of Photoshop, and I have a tablet connected to it, but I would never use it to draw like this, because this is the pure enjoyment of drawing, just like the traditional medium. And that's the reason why you can see my drawings right on the phone. This cannot be told, cannot be, you know, known to be a natural. It's a fox to be done digitally. In fact, I posed that question, and some people say it's a lot of mixed media, which is quite amusing. Anyway, so let's go back. So the traced image. So I'm going to go back to the home. Click on draw. It's quite. Don't judge something by the surface. If you do, I know in this fast world you want to have a quick fix and learn something really quickly without too much brain power or anything, you know. And if you want to do that, you'll find in the long run you're not going to make any like they say, jack of all trades and master of none is probably the term that applies to this fast world that we live in. People just hop from one thing to another and make some snap decisions as to what is right or wrong, you know, and what is good for them. And eventually they realize they don't really have any particular skill they can call and then tell others and excel at. It's a shame, because when you take a skill and learn it and take it to a deeper level, that's what the great artists, the ones you admire on YouTube, do. They're not born overnight with that talent. They've developed it over time. And what I'm going to show you is the techniques of art. Anyone who's starting out art will learn very rapidly that the skills that they have got hidden within themselves, and then able to use it and make just as good drawings like me, myself, and even better, hopefully. And this brings me to the point that if you do follow this and you are interested in teaming up with Paintology, because we're growing quite rapidly and we have 100,000 subscribers in both channels, and I'd be interested in hearing from you. Any artists who use the app to be able to draw impressively and have the techniques, some of these techniques down, and want to join the team, please let me know. Do let me know, comment section or in the via the Paintology website. I think the contact us form should work. Or, just post something on the community. And if the work is quite reasonable and you've mentioned block coloring and you've done block coloring and applied some of my methods, that should be sufficient for me to look at your work and tell me if you've got some promise and work with the team. And of course, everything else comes into being. You have to be driven, interested, and want to have the same aims as the what Paintology is all about, teaching everyone how to draw on the phone, essentially, and easy techniques that they can learn. And pretty much traditional people who are in the sideline thinking traditional art, digital art requires a whole different mindset of technical jargon, and which is totally untrue. And I'm going to prove that to you if you're new to this channel. If you're not, you will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so you can go to draw and let's dive in, draw, and go to trace image, and you'll see I've got the image already here. Yeah, you can see it there. I've got the horse image already downloaded from the reference image on that page I showed you. So hopefully you have your phone like this within the trace mode, and you can download any image, which not necessarily this. You may be interested in drawing flowers or drawing landscapes, portraits, you name it. I've got hundreds of examples here. I don't stick to any particular theme, like some artists do. I actually love drawing all kinds of different. I probably don't do as many man-made architectures as such, like for example buildings or anything, but I have done few. But I'm more fond of nature, natural things like wildlife, nature, portraits, people, because they all have things they all have like a little bit of defect, not defect as such, but different to perfection. I don't like anything that's too perfect. And digital art can be obviously perfection because it has the tools to make that happen. But when you do nature, you'll just simply love nature. So what are you going to do? I mean, what am I going to do with this drawing? If you're new, I would suggest you read, see a few of my introduction, just 5-10 minutes of the live streams that I've done to date, which is probably over 60 and probably nearing 70 now. And I started about 2 months ago, and I can tell you, as I do this on a daily basis, almost on a daily basis, except for a break every fortnight, I found that my skills have really gone up. Even though I'm pretty competent, I found that I'm learning something all the time. And if you ever say that you've hit a ceiling or you can't learn anymore, or you don't have anything what it takes to do anymore, you will find yourself that you will give up easily, just like you'll give up, drawing at a very early stage. I've asked some of my close family members, why did they stop drawing? And there's quite various reasons. They say they can only draw this because they've drawn this when they were a kid, and that's it. That's all they can draw. And I'm thinking, did you ever venture to learn more or want to learn more? And they just drew a blank. Simply, they just drew a blank, and others are not interested at all because their parents are not interested in drawing, and they've made a decision that they can't draw. So you got to understand that your decisions can play a vital part in the child's outlook in life. So the same way I'm aware of that because I have a daughter, 9 years old, and she just totally immerses herself into anything I do. And fortunately, she's picking up a lot of things. It excites her such a great deal. She's obviously a very good artist, and compared to all of her colleagues, all of the other children, everyone knows her for her art ability. But not only that, she has a keen awareness of of learning new things. And recently, she's been nagging me. I come from a technical background. I don't have any formal education in art. It's just I enjoy art. And recently, my daughter, 9 years old, she's been nagging me to do coding. So I've been sitting with her showing structured programming, and then soon she's super excited to know that we're gonna use JavaScript because I first created my web applications many, many years ago when the internet was on the rise. I was a pretty seasoned programmer in JavaScript, SQL Server, ASP at that time, and so I'm going to show her, and she's really chuffed that she said, "Oh, is it going to be online and can anybody see it?" When she does the buttons and the behavior of the button, I said, "Yeah, of course." And so this really keeps her motivated. I mean, if you don't have anything new to offer your children, you just keep them telling them, "Do this, do that." That's quite tedious, you know. You're not inspiring them in any way and such. So that's why you need to keep in mind that you can only be children are shaped around your outlook in life, and you don't want to regret it when you get older. At least you've instilled the proper mindset. It's not just a routine. Oh, I'm going to send you to college, you get university, and then hopefully you'll be sitting on a very nice job in that. And to me, that's really uninteresting to me. I think one should excel, develop what they have, and take it as far as they can. And to do that, you keep them inspired, motivated, driven, and of course, disciplined. So these are the qualities I want to instill in my daughter, and hopefully, she can take that without any help from any outside help, and just keep pushing those skills wherever she wants to go, whichever direction she wants. So that's the way I would have an outlook in life. And similarly, drawing, right? If you want to call it quits, oh, that's it, or I can only use this, or I don't have any room to draw in this other medium. It's like someone saying, I have an Apple phone and I will never go to Android, that kind of thinking. And you just close your mindset, and that's not, to me, a good thing. You need to be really flexible mindset, just like I said, the mind of a plastic mindset. Okay, so I don't want to philosophize too much, so let's go ahead. We have like half an hour to complete the first stage of this drawing. So how are we going to do it? I think if I were to ask you now, all of you will shout block coloring. Yep, you got it. And block coloring is so easy. I just cannot tell you how easy it is. Basically, start with the line brush here and keep it 100%. And let's try it 18%. And let's pick the color picker. So I keep the cursor on the top half so I can get these colors using the color picker. See, I'm picking out tones. Can you see a different shades of tones? That's simply the tones that the my stylus on my finger rests. See these darker tones? I'm trying to pick them up and then just color with it. So wherever my stylus or finger rests, it assumes that color, okay? Like for example, if I were to go here, it would assume the color that's where my finger and stylus landed. And again here, let's see, it's lighter color. So that's all it is, nothing complicated. But I'm telling you, it's very powerful to teach you tones. Tones, go to any art class. Believe me, all they're going to talk about is tones and values, but they won't have an effective platform to teach you that. The traditional way of teaching tones and values is through pencil and paper, and what's going to happen is when they teach you that, they will have to deal with the properties of the pencil, the properties of the paper, the pressure they apply to the pencil, just to show you how tones work. And there's a lot of theory on tones as well, you know. There's nothing complicated. This is wonderfully shows you the various tones that you can see for yourself as you keep drawing. You see how these tones change. And then the tones become more higher resolution as you zoom into the image, yeah? So I'm simply, do you see how it's changed all the way to the dark, these tones? That's that's really what tones are. Look how the brown has changed. And I'm picking out these tones. I'm not too worried about the details. Have you seen any artists who start drawing minute details? Maybe hyperrealistic artists because they zoom in. If you want to do hyperrealistic art, you could do this. If you want to do the hyperrealistic art of this particular, you can use block coloring all the way to the end. Let me show you. Oops, sorry, that's wrong. I just meant to press this. Sorry, I'm just doing something. Just bear with me. Clear. Okay, I'm gonna have to save this. Let me save this. I'm actually working with a prototype, so you don't have to do this. I'm saving it and opening it again because we're making some changes and testing at the same time. So let me show you how hyperrealism works. See that? I've zoomed in. Now I can take the brush size all the way down. Right, and then I can pick the colors. Look at that. Pick the tones. That's too small. And pick the tones here. Then I pick another color of the adjacent tone. And I can continue to do this for days because the hyperrealist picks out what they do is pick out and they make the tones themselves with the traditional, right? Keep doing this and then I'll get a superb realistic eye, you know, of the horse. See? That's all I'm doing, picking the colors and making sure I get all the variation of the colors. See? These are tones, that's what tones are. Yeah? So, so these, I'm picking out these variations of tones that are happening here. And look how the colors change. Wonderful, isn't it? Just goes to show. See the colors change? That's all they're doing. They're mixing the paint. That's all they're doing. Nothing scientific, anything like that. There, you'll see that as I do that over time, you'll see that I've created a hyperrealistic drawing. So you can do that if you're seriously into hyperrealism. You just don't have to mix the paint, okay? That's all. So that's just to show you the power of the digital medium if it's used effectively. So let's go zoom out and then let's see what we were doing. We were carrying on with an 18% brush, right, I think. And then we were simply just doing the block coloring, which you'll continue doing. Right, getting these lovely colors of the background first. And there. Lovely colors of the background. This is the horse there, okay. See that? This is the lovely color of the background. So I'm gonna go also through the horse very quickly. Also the wonderful colors of the horse. Lovely brownish color. And then I'm gonna pick the tones. Notice there's a tone here. Okay? And see there's a lovely tone there. Just getting these tones, the light, dark tones, that's all it is. And then, but of the colors, okay? There. I'm not too worried about the details. Have you seen some of the good artists just put on splodges of color initially and then they continue to making that drawing or painting? They're just laying down these tones that are underlying the underlying image. In landscape, you'll see a lot of people do the same thing. They will put down these underlying broad colors initially. There's a tone there, tone. Anywhere you can see a kind of a tone. You see that? There, there. Can you see that? There. Just putting it down and then making sure that I pick the actual color, right? And then when I come to the horse's head, you know this brush is way too big to get the details, especially of this harness here. So what we're going to do is take it down to 8%, let's say, and then do the ones we can see. Okay, here, look, I'm even doing the outside, just around the edge of the horse where it matters, right? You can see there's a black there, and dark there, and then a little light here, more light around the ears there. And then you zoom in if you're not getting the proper details. Just zoom in. Zoom in as much as you like. As much as you like. If you're not comfortable with doing that area, look, then pick the color and then just go around it. See, as you get closer, your brush needs to be a lot smaller to do those details. The trick, see, the brush is so big, but I'm taking advantage of doing this really quickly so I can get the edges right there. And then let's get this for the horse that we have there. And then let's get this color there, right? This color. Yeah, and just apply it across there like that. And then this light color and just apply it, okay? We don't know what color it's picked, but at least it'll be closer to the color of that region, right? I'm not too worried if I pick the right tone. I'm just blocking out sections of my canvas. Look at my canvas. This is what I have so far on my canvas. It's just like a real painting, isn't it? Okay, keep doing that. See if that brush size works. Yeah, it does seems to work. And then I can see a darker area there. What's happening here? Oh, wow. Its edges is marred by this wonderful little chain. So we're gonna, when we come to it, we probably have to spend a few minutes longer to get the effects of that chain, lovely chain that the horse owners added to this horse to make it, to make it attractive, isn't it? So I'm just going over the areas that I can see. Yeah, you can see the similar colors using the zoom here, there. And then here you can see it's darker here. And then wherever my brush can go. And using this reference image, is so powerful for drawing, believe me. You probably heard of camera obscura. This is a drawing contraption, copying, projection contraption used by all painters and artists. Believe me, that some of the great master artists have always adopted tools to further their skill set. If you think you're going to learn drawing by brute force, meaning just do it freehand all the time, I can guarantee you'll take a lot longer than anyone who uses this method. In fact, you'll be multiple times longer. The reason is because this person, I'm selecting the tones, the reference image, the very thing that I'm going to draw right here. The very thing. If you're going to develop a skill, you got to first learn the rudiments of skills, right? What are the rudiments of skill? The the, uh, the rudiments of art skills are being able to make drawing strokes. If you can't do these drawing strokes like I'm doing, then obviously you need to learn, isn't it? If you can't appreciate the different tones that are happening in this reference image, naturally you need to draw like this and see the tones of the reference image and apply it to your own drawing. There's nothing better. So can you see the different colors I'm picking? There's no better way than to learn like this, way faster than just brute force copying and with freehand. And that's the reason why I could make photorealistic drawings on phones. You could ask anyone if they can do that, they'd probably laugh at you. Who can make photorealistic on their phones, and that's not possible. The screen is too small. Well, not if you have tools like this, is it? Different. I'm picking out I'm going through the ins and out of the colors that I see that are common to this. A little darker, and then here. Can you see the stock patch? Just touching that up. And then I might move to a smaller brush to get all those details on the harness and all that. In fact, I will move to a smaller brush. So let's get it 2.5%, right? That's a pretty small brush, isn't it? Yeah, that seems to work. So let's use that. And you can see now I got the ability to pick out real details and the tones taking place at such a small level, even picking the tones around this region here, which we weren't doing before. Even this light tone here, look, this light tone there, and this black tone around that cusp, metal cusp. And here, look at the different tones going on here. It's lovely different tone. Look at that. Look at the tones we picked, the color tones here. This is the only form. This is, as far as I know, this is the only real form of teaching you about tonal painting that I know of. But if you know of anything, do let me know. I will check it out. And I hope you're drawing along with me. This is so much fun. See that? These colors? Look at that. Just picking them out there. These little bits of that white, lovely white piece there. You can see what your drawing shows up like there. It's picking out those tones, so it's really replicating the realism that's going to exist in your drawing, because it's picking out the color tones that are true to the reference image on your drawing. See, even then it's small when we come to do this buckle here, yeah? So let's see what we've got so far. Right, it's already coming out, the shape and everything. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to spend 10 minutes finishing this off with the smaller brush. You know, these small tiny details. But I will probably get smaller when I come to do these metal stirrups, and I don't know what they're called. I'm just whatever's coming to my head. I'm not a great knowledgeable in rearing horses or dressing them up like this one. But you have to admit, it's a majestic creature, and one that's been around for thousands of years, grown up with man and allowed them to go towards the west, conquer the west, as they say. You know, it's been one of the stable workhorses. I've written a poem about this, actually. You can read about it. It's actually on the description in the Quora that I put up. It's a poem on horses and how they're easily ignored now, but they were once so valuable to the transportation of mankind, to the development of the progress of mankind. Yeah. And we take them for granted. See that? I'm deliberately trying to get this. So all the areas that this brush size can work here, the details of it. See how quickly you can complete this drawing and just through block coloring, but the whole idea is to develop your techniques. So I'm going to show you some of these techniques in the next lesson after I've finished this, doing the details of this here. Just get this, that. Look at these colors. I'm finding tones. What you're doing is you're basically developing your acute sense of tonal variations in a reference drawing and applying it to and it's the reason why you can draw way more quicker and freehand when you come to do it, because your acute sense of tones when you look at a reference image increases by 100 times. That's just a guess, but you know what I'm saying. And it's the reason why I can routinely make photorealistic drawings on a phone, on a tablet, very easily, and in freehand as well. So because most drawings that one does, some are from imagination, yeah, but many are from the beautiful, wonderful nature around us, isn't it? And of the world that we see around us, right? That's what we like drawing. So I hope you're following along with me. I'm being very quick and using that same brush just to lay down these. Look at that. There. Being very quick. I don't want to spend too much time on that white bit here. You think it's white, but in reality it's slightly off-white. You'll be surprised with how much your eyes tends to work in different directions to what you think in reality. And here. So I'm getting this really quick. I'm not really spending too long. The darker areas here. Can you see that? That's what I grabbed here, and then this dark area. So that's what I'm doing, picking the color picker and making sure. That's really in essence what a lot of people draw in the real, even in traditional. Look at that stirrup. Is that a stirrup? I don't know what stirrup is, but anyway, look at the size of that. That's actually, my brush is bigger than that. So if I really want to get into the groove of that, I would have to use a smaller brush, as you can tell. But I'm really trying to lay down the first steps of the drawing process so we can do the next phase of the drawing process. And drawing process is something which, if I have time, I'll talk about it. I think I may have 5 minutes. And it's very important. Drawing process is part of the essential way that many artists are able to pull off good drawings, is because they're acutely aware of the drawing process, which others are not. So let's see what we have here. Look how quickly we've done that. So we won't probably have time to discuss what I was going to say about the. So I'm going to actually save this and then do what the developers told me. So we won't have time to talk about the drawing process, but I will mention it when I get to. Remember, I have been at halfway point. I will talk about it when I get to it in the next part 2 of this drawing. And it's really fundamental to good drawing, and it's probably hopefully, but majority of beginners don't know what that is, and it's the reason why many artists excel in their process of just the process of drawing. And many artists excel in their field is because they have intimate knowledge of their own drawing process. But when it comes to showing others, it's exceptionally hard, and I will explain a bit more about that. In fact, if you want to read a lot of because I analyze a lot about digital drawing and drawing in general, and I have experience in all areas, so I think I'm quite reasonably knowledgeable enough to talk about it, because I'm also a practitioner, as you know. I'm not just talking from art, from curator point of view, then don't do any art. Look at that, look at the colors this picks up. I'm going to do the top here, finish that. Look how quickly we've done this. This drawing by itself looks pretty decent. We just want to, but this has really helped you shape your drawing skills. Trust me. You think this is not going to help you, think what you have to do is, you start off with doing stick man and stick shapes is fine. If you saw my daughter drawing, you'd think, gosh, how she picked up all these skills. And part of it is because she loves drawing with Paintology. And part of it is because I'm explaining to her what the drawing process is about, which I'll talk about more. So, okay, so let's just finish this. See, I'm having more freer strokes. I can use more freer strokes when I'm not near the edge, too defining edge of the horse, right? Here. Let's finish that, and then we'll call it a short break before we hop onto the other one. Look at that, I'm kicking that, and then let's see what we have here. Just trying to get whatever that is. Is that a stirrup? I don't know. Yeah, it is part of the horses, the bridle that goes around it. There. see where we are. That's great. This is a record time we've done this. So now you can see, just take these with the same color and then pick a different color and I'm going to show you the illusion of detail. The illusion of detail that many artists throughout generations have been able to pull off, but not really fully understood by observers until now, where you have the ability to do the very thing that they've been doing all these years in traditional, much more easier than one thinks. Okay, so what have we got here? We've done all that, yeah, except for this little bit here. So making good time here. Second here, here, just for the sake of completion, right? And then I think we have one bit right at the corner here that I forgot. Just use this. Just get these colors. Just do little by bit to capture the tones that are happening at this level. Even though we have a small brush, I haven't reduced the brush, increased the brush size to do this, because otherwise it'd be one blocky color, and we're getting a semi-realistic with block coloring because we've used a small brush. So there you are. The first step in the drawing process, which I will talk more in the next part 2 of this drawing. So please stay with me and have this 10 minutes break coming up, and I'll join you in the next part 2 in the next lesson, and the link should be in the description, or go to the reference image. Go to the Paintology page that I showed you earlier. I'd click on the stream, this part 2 stream, and it will take you to the next one coming up shortly, and I'll join you there. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you soon.